Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Katrina and today I'm going to be guiding you through one of my favorite full body stretching routines using a stability ball and a strap. I'm using an infinity strap, but any strap will work. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a long resistance band, you can use a towel, a scarf, a compression sock, anything long that you have. I find a bathrobe belt works really great in a pinch. So find something that you can use as a strap, grab your ball, and let's get started. I want you to remember that everything is optional. Nothing we do in this class should cause pain or hurt. If that means you need to leave something out, that is okay. Always listen to your body. Find what works best for you. Take what serves you and leave the rest. We're going to start standing today. You can just set your strap off to the side. We'll be using it later. Come on up to your feet and stand behind your ball. We're going to begin by linking our movement to our breath. So picking up the ball, you're going to inhale to lift it up overhead and exhale to lower it down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Your gaze can track the ball as you move here. Maybe you add a little back bend as you lift the ball up and release it back down. Let's do a couple more just like that. And this time as you exhale that ball down, we're going to put it down on the ground and you're just going to roll that ball forward as far away as you can. Feel free to bend into your knees. The tighter you are through your hamstrings, the more you might want to soften those knees. We want a nice long spine. Imagine sending your tailbone back towards the wall behind you as you energize the crown of your head forward. And notice that stretch you feel all the way up the back line of your body, up the backs of your legs, into your hamstrings and your hips, down your spine and your lats, your shoulders and your arms. And then from here, we're going to roll that ball diagonally to the right, reaching it out and away towards the front right corner of your mat. Feeling that stretch deepen down the left arm and the left side of your back. I'm going to give you options here. Just find what feels best. You can keep both hands on your ball. Or maybe you release your right arm and just let it hang. That arm can dangle or sway. Maybe you do some lazy circles. Just letting that right arm be dead weight. Or if a twist sounds nice, you can reach your right hand across your midline, grab hold of your opposite shin, so right hand to left shin, and then pull into a twist, looking under your right arm. Take a few slow, deep breaths. And then we'll take the right hand back to our ball and we'll just roll over to the left, reaching diagonally towards the front left corner of your mat. Feeling that stretch deepen now down the right arm and the right side of your back. Feel free to keep both hands on the ball. You might need to do something different from right to left. That is okay. Maybe you release your left arm and let it hang. See how it feels to let the arm sway or circle. And if you're craving that twist, you can reach the left hand across your midline, grab your opposite shin, grab your right shin, and pull into a twist. Now we're looking under the right arm. Just a few rounds of breath here. We'll take the left hand back to the ball. We'll roll that ball back to center. Find a generous bend in the knees as you reach it out and away. Maybe even think about finding a cow pose here, dropping the belly slightly, lifting the heart and the gaze. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, start to roll the ball to your toes, rounding the spine, rising all the way up to standing. From here, we're going to take our ball behind our mat and just take a seat on your ball with the feet out in front of you. Hands on the thighs. You can be on top of the ball with your calves back towards the ball, or you might prefer to roll forward towards the front of your ball. So just find what feels comfortable in your body today. We're just going to start with some tucks and tilts of the tail. So let's start with a tuck. You're tucking the tail under to shallow out your low back curve. And then as you tilt your tail, you're going to feel your low back curve deepen. Your ribs might shift forward with your heart. We're going to tuck the tail, rounding into the low back, and tilt the tail, arching into the low back. A couple more, just like that. Tuck the tail between the legs like a sad puppy, and then tilt. You're sending your tail back behind you. Tuck and tilt. And then we're going to find neutral in between your tuck and your tilt. Now we're going to do a side tilt. So just start to shift your hips from right to left. And then from here, we're going to begin to stir the pot. So just seamlessly make your way into some pelvic circles, swirling the hips around, just going whatever direction your body naturally takes you first. And then we're going to go the weird way. It might feel a little awkward as you reverse directions. You're just going to take those circles the opposite way, stirring the pot. Kind of like a hula hoop. Nice slow hula hoop motion here. And then we're going to come back to center. And we're just going to tuck and tilt one more time. So let's start with that tuck, the tail between the legs, and then I want you to tilt. So deepening the arch in your low back, lifting the heart as you sit up tall. We want to keep our pelvis in this tilted position through our next stretch. Hands to the hips, extend your right leg out in front of you, popping up onto your heel and flexing the toes back towards the shin. Stay tall, make sure you're still in that pelvic tilt, and then start to hinge forward at the hips. We want to keep the heart lifted, the spine nice and long here. You might choose to keep your hands on your hips like so, or you can bring your hands to your right thigh, your shin, or the mat. Just find what feels best. I want you to find the edge within your stretch. We're looking for that point where we feel a nice big stretch up the back of the leg. You might feel some intensity and sensation here, but we never want to feel pain or pins and needles. So always ease back if you need to. Work from a point where you can be still and breathe deeply, relaxing into the stretch. If you're clenching your jaw or holding your breath, that might mean you've gone too far. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, we'll rise up tall, we'll step the right foot in. We'll bring the hands to the hips, reset that pelvic tilt, deepening the low back curve, nice big arch in the low back as you sit tall. Extend the left leg, flexing the toes back. We're going to keep our pelvis in that tilted position as we hinge at the hips. Remember, your hands can stay on the hips or they can rest on your thigh, your shin, or your mat. Just find what feels best. You might notice if or how this feels different than the other side. Maybe this is your tight side. Maybe it's more open. You might need to do something completely different from right to left. Remember, that is always okay. Honor those imbalances and work with them. Once you settle in, just be still and breathe. On your next inhale, let's rise up from that fold. We'll step the left foot in, and from here we are going to heel toe the feet out just a little bit wider than your ball. So in a nice wide stance with a little bit of turnout in the toes, hands to the thighs, starting to get into the inner thighs and groin a little bit here. Maybe you start to roll your ball from side to side. I like to lift one heel at a time as I roll towards that foot. And then we'll come back to center. You'll inhale to sit up tall, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, you're just gonna turn your torso towards the right, pushing your left hand into your inner thigh as you allow that left shoulder to drop forward towards your midline. The left arm is straight. You're thinking about pushing your left knee back towards the wall behind you. On your next inhale, we'll come back to center. And as you exhale, you'll twist to the other side. Right hand pushes against your inner thigh, push the knee back. Allow the right shoulder to drop forward and down towards your midline. We're gonna move with the breath. Inhale to center. Exhale to twist towards the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to twist towards the left. We'll do one more each way. And then we'll inhale back to center. This time exhale to fold. Allowing your head to hang heavy. Maybe you release your hands to the mat. Or perhaps you reach your arms back, holding the ball between your forearms. You can shake out the head to release any tension in the neck. If you're holding the ball between your arms, let's bring our hands back to the mat, just under the shoulders. You're going to heel toe your feet in towards your hands. And then from here, we're just going to rise halfway up. Bring your forearms to your thighs. Give yourself a moment here to adjust. And when you're ready, you'll come all the way up. You'll step the feet in. Let's stir the pot, swirling those hips around. Nice, easy circles. And reverse those circles. From here, we'll come back to center. I like to walk my feet back towards the ball, sitting upright on the ball. You're right on top of the ball here. Let's bring our hands to the sides of the ball. I want you to grow as tall as you can, lifting the crown of your head up as you walk your fingers down. So fingers are walking as far down the ball as you can. Neck is nice and long here. Let's allow the head to tip to the left, stretching along the right side of your neck. Let's reach the right hand away from the ball. Maybe starting with that right hand about hip height. Energy shooting out your fingertips as you reach the arm as long as you can. From here, you can play with your angle, maybe lifting the arm slightly up, down, forward, or back. Looking for your sweet spot within the stretch. We're slowly going to begin to rotate the arm. So you're going to spin the arm out, palm out. The whole arm moves from your shoulder here. And then you're going to rotate your arm back in, spinning from the shoulder. Slowly rotate out. And then in. Notice the sensations that spiral up and around your arm line like a sleeve as you spin the arm. And then we're gonna float that hand back down to the ball, lift the head up, reach the left hand away from the ball as you let your head fall to the right. Energy shooting out those fingertips. Imagine someone's gently pulling on your wrist, reaching your arm longer, longer, longer. And slowly begin to externally rotate, spinning your palm out, thumb back. And then internally rotate. And just continue to slowly turn the arm. Remember, you can always play with the angle, making any micro adjustments, lifting the arm up, down, forward or back. Find what feels best. And then we'll float that hand back down to the ball. And we'll lift the head up. From here, we're going to interlace the hands behind the head, and you're going to slowly guide your chin down towards your chest, stretching the back of your neck. You can be still in the stretch, or you can slowly start to guide your head from side to side. Tracing your chin across your collarbones. Keeping the neck completely relaxed, allowing the hands to provide this movement. We'll return to center, chin to chest. On your next inhale, lift the head, reach your elbows out wide, and lower your arms down to your sides. Let's just shrug those shoulders up and back a few times. And then roll them forward. Now from here, we are going to reposition our ball towards the back of our mat. So we're going to go into a back bend. Now, I don't normally practice back bends. I have a bad back. They usually are very painful for me. With the ball is the only way I can do a pose like this. However, everybody's back pain is different. So watch this before you try it and decide whether or not you think it's going to be safe for you. Really go slow as we ease into this back bend. Listen to your body. Don't force it if you're not there today. We are going to ease our way in. So we're going to start with the hands across the chest. And then you're going to slowly start to walk the feet forward towards the end of your mat. Notice how my feet are out past my knees. I have less of a bend in the knees here. My hips are off the ball and my spine is supported by the ball. Now from here, if you need a little extra support for your neck, you can always take your hands behind the head and keep them there. I personally like to recline all the way back over the ball and rest my head on the ball, bringing my arms down to the sides. Now from here, we're just gonna start to bend into the knees. As much as you want. I like to really bend into the knees, bringing my hips down towards the floor. On your next inhale, you're gonna push into your feet, extending the legs and stretching the arms overhead. Exhale, bend back into your knees, sweeping your arms to your sides. Inhale to stretch and expand over the ball. You can make this movement as big or as small as you need it to be. Just continue to rock forward and back, easing in and out of that back bend. We'll do a few more with your breath. You might prefer to just keep moving here. Feel free to keep flowing. If you want to hold the stretch, you might want to explore a little bit. I like to walk my feet back so I can keep a little bend in the knees and start with my arms out to a T shape. If you want more, you can reach the arms up overhead. Maybe if it's available, you walk the feet back until your hands touch down. I think my ball's a little big for that one. The full back bend, not always going to be a good idea for everyone. For me, this usually causes a little bit too much compression in my spine. So I'm gonna keep my arms out to a T shape, keep my knees bent. Find what feels best. It should feel good. We're looking for a really awesome stretch up the front line of the body. The fronts of your thighs and hips, your belly, chest, and shoulders. Slow, deep breaths. And then from here, to come out of this, we're gonna take the hands across the chest. We're gonna stay reclined over the ball and just walk your feet forward. I'm gonna recommend you walk all the way to the end of your mat. You want your feet out in front of your knees, so we need less of a bend in the knees for this to work. And then you're just gonna bend the knees until your hips come down to the ground. You might need to keep walking those feet forward. If you feel like your knees are already bent as much as they can be and you're still nowhere near the mat, just keep walking out until you can come down to the ground. Now from here, we're gonna go into a forward fold. We're just gonna counter that with a really nice little low back stretch. So we're gonna kneel with the ball in front of our thighs. You're gonna rest your belly and your hips on the ball, tuck your toes behind you, and lift your knees up. Bring your hands to the ground. We're kind of in a plank pose with the ball under the belly. You're gonna take a big step forward with the hands, and then you're gonna drop to your forearms. This is gonna cause your feet to lift up off the ground. That's what we want. Let your head hang. We should feel like the crown of the head and the toes are just barely hovering off the floor as your hips point towards the ceiling. Looking for a nice gentle stretch into the low back. I like to shift my hips from side to side, kind of doing a soft little tail wag, letting the legs pendulum from right to left. You might prefer to shake out the head or roll out the ankles. Maybe you widen the legs. Maybe you draw circles with the feet, bending into the knees as you circle around. If you're circling, let's reverse those circles. And then we'll lower the legs down. We'll carefully rise back up to the hands, dropping your toes to the mat. Now from here, we're gonna go into a calf stretch. So you're gonna cross your left ankle over the right, and then you're gonna push your right heel down towards the ground. You might not feel much if your hands are too far away from your ball. So if you wanna take this deeper, walk your hands back towards the ball. And if you still want more, you can push that heel down, lifting your hips up. Almost like you're in a three-legged down dog with a little support from that ball under the chest. If you're in more of that down dog, let's just come back down onto the ball, allowing your hips to release. We're gonna switch legs, cross the right ankle over the left, push your left heel down towards the floor. Remember, you can walk your hands closer to the ball for more intensity, or even push into your hands, lifting the hips, sending your heel even closer to the ground. And then we'll uncross the legs, and we're gonna go ahead and drop the knees down nice and wide. So you're gonna take the knees as wide as you comfortably can, big toes together, untuck the toes. Send your hips back towards your heels. You don't have to sit all the way back on your heels. Just take what you've got here, bring the ball in towards your hips. You're gonna stack your hands on the ball and then rest your head on your hands for tortoise pose. You might prefer to hold still within your tortoise pose, or if it feels good to wiggle around, you can roll the ball from side to side, forward and back, or circle around. We'll come back to center and lift our head up off the ball. You're gonna roll that ball forward, bring your knees together, and then kneel tall with that ball beside your left hip. So we've got the ball to our left hip here. You really want it nice and tight towards the outer thigh and hip. I really like to work that ball into place and then lay over the ball as you extend the right leg. So everything from about mid-thigh to your armpit should be right over that ball. We want the hips and shoulders to stay stacked here. So really resisting the urge to roll forward or back. You're staying nice and straight. And then we're gonna reach the right arm up and overhead. Now, if this bothers your shoulder at all, you might prefer to bend the right elbow, resting the hand behind the head. Or if the arm is long and you want more, you can clasp your right wrist in your left hand and gently pull a little deeper. So we're stretching all down the right side of the body here. Think about breathing into the right side of your rib cage. Feel the ribs rise up as you inhale and fall down as you exhale. And then we'll come up to center and we'll take it to the other side. So we're gonna roll that ball over to the right hip. You wanna kind of squish the ball beside your thigh, get it nice and tight to your thigh here, and then you're just gonna lean over the ball. Really surrender, let it support you. Everything from mid-thigh up to the armpit is resting on the ball here. The left leg is straight, kicked out to your side, and then we're gonna sweep the left arm up and over. Left elbow can bend, hand behind the head, or maybe your right hand grabs onto your left wrist and just pulls your arm a little longer. Feel the left side of your rib cage expanding as you inhale, contracting as you exhale. And then we'll come up to center. And we're going to go ahead and take a seat on our mat with the ball in front of us. So we're gonna extend our legs out to a straddle, just going as wide as you comfortably can. If you're feeling any cramping or discomfort in the hips, narrow your stance here. We're gonna have the ball right in front of us. You might not be able to see me much for this one. Your hands are gonna be right on top of the ball. Let's flex the toes back towards the shins. I like to rotate my toes out away from the midline. You might prefer to keep your toes pointing up towards the sky. We're gonna inhale to sit tall. And then as you exhale, you're gonna roll that ball forward, as far forward as you can, hinging from the hips, finding your fold. I like to take some gentle little pulses here as I settle in. And then we'll take some slow, deep breaths. Let's take our hands to the sides of the ball. So your hands are on either side of the ball. If you wanted to, you could just pick that ball right up off the ground. From here, we're gonna take a breath in, and as you exhale, roll the ball towards your right foot. You're going to twist slightly, looking under the left arm. Hold here as you inhale. Exhale, roll the ball over to the left foot. Twisting, looking under the right arm. Inhale to hold. Exhale to roll over to the right. Inhale to hold. Exhale to roll over to the left. And just keep moving with your breath, switching sides as you exhale. Let's do a couple more. And then we'll roll back to center, settling into that fold. On your next inhale, you'll rise up. We'll take the ball beside either thigh and bring the legs together. Now from here, we're going to lie down on our backs, so just make sure your strap is close by. You're going to lie down and prop your legs up on top of your ball. So maybe just taking a moment here to get settled. I like to cross my legs. It just feels a little more secure. You might let that ball sway from side to side. And then you're going to find your strap, and you're going to loop your strap around the arch of your right foot. I like to hold my strap in both hands as we extend that right leg. Now you might have your right knee fully straightened out here, but you might want to bend the right knee. If you're prone to overextension, or on the flip side of that, if you're really tight, a bent knee can often feel best and be safest in the knee. It's important that we're flexing the toes back towards the shin and feeling a stretch up the back of the right leg. So you can pull the leg in deeper, walk your hands up the strap, or you can walk your hands down the strap and lower your leg towards the ball. Now, if you find you're straining your neck to get into this stretch, I want you to lower all the way down to the ground. You can even take a cushion under your head if you need a little extra support there, but we really want the upper body as relaxed as possible. Take a few more slow, deep breaths. Now from here, you're going to hold that strap in your left hand. So we have the strap in opposite hand and foot. You're going to reach your right arm out to your side, palm face up, and you're going to allow your right leg to drift across your midline. So your right leg is shifting to the left. You decide how far you go past the midline. It might be an inch, it might be a foot. Stop when you feel a nice stretch up the outer thigh on the right side. Now for me, this is a really challenging one. This is one of my problemed areas, so I cannot stay put in the stretch for too long. I'm gonna inhale my leg back to center, and then as I exhale, I'm gonna cross over into the stretch. You are welcome to join me, or you can hold the stretch and breathe through it if that feels good. I've got some nerve damage here in my hip, so if I hold the stretch for too long, my entire leg goes numb. And remember, pins and needles are not a good thing when we're stretching. That's not what we're looking for. So if you can do something to mitigate that, I want you to do that. Couple more rounds of breath. We're going to inhale our leg back to center. Now we're just going to trade hands. Now you want to hold that strap securely in your right hand. It's still around the right foot. We're going to take the left hand to the front of your left hip, and we're slowly going to open up the legs. So we're looking for an inner thigh and groin stretch here. I don't care how close your right leg is to the ground. Don't worry so much about that. I would much rather see your left hip stay heavy on your mat. So left butt cheek stays grounded. That might mean you don't go as far into the stretch. You can keep your left hand on your hip as a reminder to stay heavy, or you can reach your left arm out to your side, palm up. The left leg can stay straight, or you might find it feels best to bend into the left knee, kind of taking a half butterfly shape here. Sometimes I like to alternate between a straight and bent leg on the left side. You can explore, see what you need today. Once you find what feels best, settle in. If this is a problemed area for you, you can always ease in and out like I did with the last one. Inhaling your leg back to center and exhaling to open up. Or you can hold here and breathe. Remind your hips, your inner thighs, and even your pelvic floor to let go. If you're clenching your jaw, you're also probably clenching your pelvic floor. So remember to relax into the jaw and the face. Use your breath, softening a little bit more with every exhale. And on your next inhale, we'll slowly bring the legs back in towards your midline. Take your time here. We're going to remove our strap from the right foot. You're just going to set your strap off to the side. Place your heels on top of the ball. You might want to roll that ball forward a little bit. That's going to give you a little more space to set this up. We'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh, and then you'll pull the left knee in towards the chest. So let's start with our hands on the knees. You're using the left hand to pull the left knee in towards the chest, using the right hand to push the right knee away from your chest. Both ankles are active. You're flexing the toes back towards your shin. If you want more, you can thread your right arm between the legs, interlacing your hands in front of the left shin or behind the left thigh. But you're still thinking about pulling the left knee in and pushing the right knee away. We want to feel this in the back of the right hip, into those glute muscles that make up your right butt cheek. You might even feel this deeper under the glutes, into your piriformis, that chronically tight muscle that lies deep in the hip. You're welcome to rock from side to side if that feels good. Remember to breathe. Think about breathing straight into your hip where you're feeling all of that sensation. And imagine that tension leaving your body with your breath as you exhale. We'll release our hold, return both calves back to the ball. Maybe you cross the ankles, maybe you let that ball sway from side to side. And we're going to do all of that on the other side. So you'll find your strap here. You're going to loop your strap around the arch of the left foot now. Hold the strap in both hands as you extend the left leg. Maybe you walk your hands higher up the strap and pull the leg deeper into the stretch. If you do, I want you to ensure that your head stays down on your mat, or if you've got a cushion under your head, we just want the neck to stay relaxed here. No straining to get into the stretch. If it's too intense, bend into the knee, lower the leg closer to your ball. Find your happy place in your stretch today. And then I want you to see if you can hold still within that stretch and breathe through it. From here, let's go ahead and hold on to that strap in our right hand. So right hand, left foot in the strap. You're gonna reach your left arm out to your side, palm up. You're gonna allow your left leg to drift to the right, going across your midline, only as far as you need to go. Keep flexing your toes back to the shin. You can hold that stretch or join me, inhaling the leg back to center. Exhale to cross over into the stretch. You can do that as much as you'd like before settling in and holding, or you can ease in and out the whole time. And on your next inhale, we'll bring the leg back up to center. We're just gonna trade hands here. So keeping the strap around your left foot, now holding it in your left hand. Right hand comes to the front of your right hip. We slowly open up. If you feel like your right butt cheek has come off the mat, so your left leg can get closer to the ground, I want you to bring that right hip back down. Keep it heavy, keep it grounded. Don't worry about how close your left leg is getting to your mat here. Maybe you reach your left arm out to your side. Maybe you bend into your left knee. I'm gonna extend and bend that left knee a couple of times. Sorry, right knee is the one that can bend. The left leg stays straight out to your side. So the right leg, the one on the ball, we can bend and extend and see where we want to be here. Settling in. Notice if you're clenching or tension any muscles in your body, your jaw, your hips, your thighs. Let that tension go. Unclench and relax. And on your next inhale, we'll slowly bring the legs back in towards your midline. We're gonna remove the strap from our foot, set it off to the side, placing both heels on your ball. Option to roll the ball forward first before finding that figure four. So we cross the left ankle over the right thigh, and then we pull the right knee in towards the chest. Hands on the knees to start, pulling the right knee in as you push the left knee away. You can keep your hands on your knees to help with that push-pull force, or you can thread your left arm between the legs, holding on behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin. We still want to keep the head relaxed down on the ground. You're pulling the right knee in, pushing the left knee away, and flexing the toes back towards the shins. No floppy ankles here. Feeling that stretch in the back of your left hip, breathing into it, maybe rocking from side to side. And then we're going to release our hold on that right leg. Return both calves back to the ball, crossing your ankles, maybe letting that ball sway from side to side, resting your hands on your belly. And when you're ready, you can take your feet off of the ball. If your ball rolls away, that's okay. Just let it go. We are done with it. You can roll to your side and push your way up to a seat. And that is it for Total Stretch. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling better after this class than you did before we started. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give this class a thumbs up if you'd like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more classes like this.